Hi, I'm Kelly from Kansas City. My parents were billionaires and we were 12 girls. I was number 6. The oldest of us all was Janet, the apple of my parents' eyes. Well, everyone's eyes, really. She was beautiful, talented, and I too aspired to be like her. But with the other 10, I'd never let go of a fight. Did I say you could borrow my sweater? Give it back now! I tried to pull it away from my naughty younger sister when Janet came in between us.
Okay, you two. Remember what I said about respecting each other?
Somehow, she was always able to diffuse a situation with moral talks. I clung to every piece of advice she ever gave. That was until I went to my dad's workplace one day and walked in on Janet and my dad's assistant kissing. Worse, I knew that man was happily married. Janet? Oh my God!
Kelly, please don't tell Dad.
I ran out of the office, bawling my eyes out. I felt so betrayed, and all the respect I had for her was flushed down the toilet. I never told anyone, but I couldn't look at her the same. As a result, I stopped caring about anything she ever had to say. Soon, she and I were the ones that were butting heads more than anyone else in the house. I couldn't stand living in that house anymore, and now that I was going into high school, I got permission from my parents to move to Paris, where my aunt lived, and attend high school there. It was at my new school where I met Ashley, and we became instant BFFs. But she had a twin brother, Ashton, who had a huge crush on me and was always trying to go out with me. Ashton left another note in my locker. Seriously? He's such a loser. Listen, you don't have to consider him just because he's my brother, okay? Don't worry about me. She was the bestest best friend ever. For the next 4 years of my high school, Ashton never gave up on me.
Kelly, you keep saying no, but one day you'll realize I'm the right guy for you. Until then, I'll be here.
Oh, come on, Ashton, give it up already. I told you I never saw you that way. But we'll always be friends, alright? I finally graduated high school, and though I was sad to leave Ashley, it was time for me to go back home. I did miss my parents and my other crazy sisters, but when I got home, things were way more hectic than when I left them. Janet was in prison for some fraudulent thing she was involved in. My sisters got out of control and were pulled away from school, and my dad hired a private tutor named Damien, the most gorgeous man I had ever seen. Hey, little sisters, dinner's ready in about an hour, so go get ready to eat. Dinner won't be ready in an hour, so, I just wanted to meet you and say...
Before that, let me say how pretty and smart you are. I've heard much about you, Kelly. You're cool.
Wow, this wasn't weird at all. We both soon formed a friendship, and I found myself falling for him more each time I saw him. One night, he asked me to meet up the street because he had something important to tell me. And of course, I couldn't say no.
Kelly, I don't know if this is right, but I think you're the most beautiful woman in the world. I know that we're friends, but I would love it if you agreed to be more than that with me.
So he had the same feelings too? Oh, Damien, I would love that. And under the moonlight, just like in a rom-com, he kissed me. We decided to keep our relationship a secret because we didn't want it to interfere with my sister's studies. And if they found out I got the hot guy they were all eyeing on, I'm dead. We managed to sneak out often, watch Hear My Story videos together during online calls. You know that channel was so much fun. You should subscribe too. Then one day, Janet was released from prison and came back home. I was so not thrilled about her meeting Damien, but unfortunately, I had no choice. And when they met, Janet had no hesitation putting the moves on Damien. It drove me insane with jealousy, but my other sisters attacked her instead for trying to claim him. That made up for it a little. Damien, I don't trust Janet. I can't bear the sight of her drooling all over you. You're mine.
Should we plan to tell everyone about us then? Maybe she'll stop then.
You think it could be time?
It'll help with so many things if your family knows.
And so we agreed to tell my family about our relationship, but we planned to wait a couple more months until our sisters finished school. But I failed to remember that Janet was a snake with her perfect skin removed. One day, I came home from shopping and I went into my room to find Janet and Damien kissing. My stomach churned at the sight of it and I ran out. Damien tried to chase after me.
Kelly, please, let me explain.
I was too hurt to face anyone. I avoided Damien and spent most of my days out of the house for as long as I possibly could. One day, I was sitting by myself at a coffee shop and called Ashley. I told her everything that had been going on. And I just couldn't shake that image out of my head, Ashley. I thought when I saw Janet kissing my dad's assistant was the ultimate betrayal, but now... Hey, maybe come to France. Ashton has done some maturing since you left. Just saying, you know, he's never moved on. Should I consider moving to France? I'll think about it. All I know now is I can't be home. I know. Call me when you decide. Thinking about it, I could actually go to college there and build a new life for myself. Ashley was the first one I told when I decided I was moving out, and she went and got an apartment for the both of us to share. I was so excited that this time we would be living together. The fact I was leaving Damien was killing me, but I buried those feelings with hyping myself up for life in Paris. I was packing up my bags to catch my plane the next morning when I heard a knock at my door. It was Janet.
I wanted to talk to you, Kelly.
I don't want to talk to you. Get out. I went to slam the door in her face when she stopped the door with her foot and forced herself into my room anyway. I was furious, but I looked at her, really looked at her, and remembered what she once was to me. And out of respect I once felt for her, I chose to hear her out.
Look, I've never been a good sister, especially to you. I was wrong. With Dad's assistant and now with Damien. Please, you need to give him another chance before deciding to leave.
You don't have a say in that, Janet.
Yes, I never had a say in anything. Only expected to do what everyone else wants me to do. But you were everything you wanted to be. Paris, high school all alone. Honestly, I was just a bit jealous. That's why. I made some mistakes and ended up in prison.
Wait, was she actually trying to blame me for her behavior? I thought she deserved to be heard out, but I couldn't hear another word. Janet, you need to leave. Now! I pushed her out of my room and slammed the door shut. My heart broke all over again. I thought she was coming to apologize, and instead she gaslighted me. Heck no! I changed my flight to that night. It was pouring rain outside. As I unloaded my bags from the car, I heard someone calling my name. It was Damien.
Kelly, wait! Please!
Seeing him for the first time after weeks of avoiding him made me realize just how crazy I was about him. My heart nearly leapt out of my chest. Damien? What are you doing here?
You didn't even let me explain. She trapped me, and I know none of this is helping, and it sounds cliche, but I love you, Kelly.
That was the first time Damien officially said I love you to me, and his eyes, he meant it. I felt it. But Damien, I need some time.
How much time?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe when I stop seeing that image of you kissing my sister in my head. Go home now, please. I just ran in to catch my flight. Nothing in first class could comfort me from the heart-wrenching conversation I just had with Damien. I wondered if I was doing the right thing, but I kept telling myself that I needed to just be in Paris and live for myself for a while. Ashley was there to pick me up. I told her about Damien. She didn't say anything, but just hugged me as I cried. She took me to our apartment. I met Ashton, and Ashley was right. He had matured and not just grown up. He grew into his looks, and I definitely noticed.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you...
Please don't ask me anything about Damien.
What? No! I was about to ask you out for a dinner date tonight.
You wouldn't waste any time, would you? Though my heart was too heavy, I agreed to the date out of desperation to get my mind off things. For our first date, Ashton took me to a famous restaurant with amazing French cuisine and a view of the Eiffel Tower. It was so romantic. You've really outdone yourself, Ashton.
Only the best for you, Kelly. I'm so glad you gave me a chance.
I'm honestly glad I did too. You've become an amazing man. I was shocked with myself because I totally meant it. Seeing him now, handsome, grown up, and a total sweetheart, it was easy to be with him. It felt safe, and that could either be a really good thing or a bad thing. But I knew I wanted to keep seeing him after this date. For weeks, I went out with Ashton. We even kissed, but I couldn't shake Damien. What do you mean you can't shake Damien? I thought you and Ashton were getting along so well. We do, but I'm just not myself. I couldn't sleep. I know this is wrong, but it was true. Anytime I was with Ashton, all I could think about was Damien. When Ashton kissed me, I saw Damien's face as I closed my eyes. I couldn't string Ashton along in good conscience. It's not fair. On our next date, I knew what I had to do, and with Ashley's support, I went through with it. Ashton, I'm really glad I gave you a chance, but I can't do this anymore.
Why not? I thought things were going so great.
Facts. But I still have feelings for Damien, and no matter what I tried, I just couldn't dump him, and I'm tired of fighting it. I felt terrible, but I had to do it. I went back to the apartment, and Ashley was there with Damien? You're here. Yep, I just called. He showed up and I let him in. I'll leave you two to talk. Ashley! Seeing Damien had come all the way out to Paris melted me. I sat down with him and we finally talked everything over. When he told me that Janet forced herself onto him right as I walked in, I believed it because it's so Janet to do that. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Damien. I love you, and maybe you can stay in Paris with me.
I can't. There wouldn't be anything out here for me. I have to teach back home. Maybe you can come with me? We can talk to your parents.
It would have been amazing to live in Paris with Damien, but I chose to go home with him. Damien and I told my family about us, and my parents kicked Janet out of the house for causing all the trouble. She went to Paris to live with our aunt and get away from the family. I had gotten myself into school to study business. Damien continued teaching my sisters, and before I knew it, a couple of years had gone by. One night, he took me out on a romantic date out on a boat. I gasped when I saw him drop on one knee and held up a little black box with the most gorgeous ring I had ever seen inside.
Kelly, you're the love of my life, my best friend. Will you marry me?
Oh, Damien! Of course I will. From then on, we lived happily ever after.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you know that 90% of people in the world are right-handed? And, what do you know? 90% of you haven't subscribed. So, take your right hand and tap the subscribe button. Do it now! I'm waiting. And after that, watch these other stories. Laters!